Imagine walking into a room with people from every corner of the world. Now, try this. Grab a piece of paper, draw a long winding body, add scales, some wings, maybe a trail of fire, and ask them, "What is this?" Chances are, they'll say the same thing. That's a dragon, which is strange, because dragons don't exist. They never have. And yet, almost every culture imagined them anyway. They carved them in stone, painted them on scrolls, whispered about them in bedtime stories. They feared them, they worshipped them, and sometimes they became them. So the question isn't just, what is a dragon? The deeper question is, why did we, separately, across oceans and mountains, imagine the same monster? Let's start with the basics. Dragons are not the same everywhere. In the East, especially in China, Korea, and Japan, dragons are celestial. They live in the sky, dance with clouds, and summon rain for the fields. They are wise, ancient, long-bodied, almost serpentine, often without wings. They are protectors, not destroyers. In fact, in Chinese culture, to be born in the year of the dragon is a blessing. You are believed to carry strength, power, and noble purpose. Now head west. In European tales, dragons are far more beast than blessing. They breathe fire. They hoard gold. They guard caves and capture princesses. And above all, they must be slain. From the heroic epics of St. George to the fierce sagas of Norse mythology, Western dragons represent danger and the overcoming of it. Same creature. Two meanings. One flies in the heavens, one waits in the dark. Why? Some scientists believe the answer lies in evolution, not of biology, but of fear. Our ancestors had to survive in a world full of predators. Snakes, big cats, birds of prey. Each could kill us in a different way. Slither, strike, swoop. So what if the dragon is a combination of everything we were once terrified of? A long serpent's body, a lion's claws, the wings of an eagle, the breath of a volcano, a chimera, a warning. Carl Sagan even suggested that the image of the dragon might be baked into our DNA. Not because dragons existed, but because the threats they represent did. In that sense, the dragon isn't just a creature, it's a memory. But if dragons were born from fear, why did some cultures come to love them? The answer may lie in how societies saw power. In the West, especially medieval Europe, power was about control. The world was harsh, nature was wild, and anything too powerful had to be conquered. So the dragon became the other, the final boss. The monster you slay to become a hero, to become a king, to prove you're in charge. But in the East, power was harmony. Taoist and Confucian thinking taught that nature wasn't meant to be controlled. It was to be flowed with. The dragon wasn't a monster. It was a symbol of balance, of rain, rivers, seasons. Something mighty, yes, but also wise. Not to be slain, but to be listened to. Same creature, different worldview. What if the dragon isn't about snakes or tigers or fire? What if it's about us? In many myths, the dragon represents what we must face inside ourselves. It is the fear that guards the treasure, the anxiety before the breakthrough, the ego that burns everything, unless we learn to tame it. Psychologist Jordan Peterson once said, "The dragon hoards what you need most, and it will not give it to you unless you face it." That's not just poetry, that's a map. And stories have followed that map for thousands of years. Even today, in our movies, games, and stories, dragons haven't gone away. In Studio Ghibli's Spirited Away, the dragon isn't evil. He's misunderstood, lost, searching. In Game of Thrones, dragons are both weapons and symbols of broken bloodlines. In How to Train Your Dragon, the monster becomes a mirror of what happens when we stop fearing what we don't understand. And in a way, maybe that's the real magic of dragons. They evolve with us. They wear our fears, and sometimes they help us rise above them. So no, dragons aren't real. Not in bones, not in science, not in zoos, but they are real in another way, because we imagined them. Together, across time, across continents, across languages, they live in us, in our stories, in our symbols, in our psychology. Some dragons are enemies, some are teachers, and some are just waiting for us to notice them. The dragon in every culture might be imaginary, but the truths it reveals about humanity, those are very, very real.